Hello everybody, welcome back to Mycorrhizae. My name is the Mad Kitty Man here, and if you guys remember in the last episode, we discovered what was hidden inside the basement the whole time, and it seemed to be a very interesting creature. I will pull up an image right here, wherever I am at. Anyway, at the end of that, we've woke up into a strange city, and apparently there were people laughing. So, let's continue where we left off. But what I saw was the opposite of funny. It was horrifying. That is really horrifying. Oh, no, stop. I am missing dialogue. He turned his hips so that everyone in the crowd could have a clear view. As if he didn't want anyone to miss it. Scott, why are people laughing at this? A bystander heard me. I don't know, his face just seems so funny. I mean, look at it. I really don't think a face like that is really funny because, I mean, one of them looks like it's been tortured. I stared at him in disbelief. He and the others really did seem to find this funny, where they are seeing something I wasn't. No matter how long I looked at it, I think I just heard somebody die, or somebody's dying of laughter. It didn't seem like anything other than a disturbing. I averted my gaze and walked away. I wanted nothing to do with this madness. I continued to climb through the town center while trying to keep my distance from the crowd. Soon I noticed that the sun has already started to rise, and I still hadn't found anything that even vaguely resembled a police station. Hi, wait a minute. It's kind of creepy, isn't it? I had to walk by a girl that was standing nearby. She was watching the crowd from the distance. Yeah, it is. I was glad to hear that someone else was thinking the same thing. Were you in the previous episode, like the very first one? Were you the one that gave me your phone so that I could call somebody and there was no reception? An awkward pause followed. I had been under the impression that she wanted to start up a conversation, but I guess that wasn't the case. My stomach broke to silence. Are you hungry? Well, gee whiz, stomach. Bloodshot to my face. It was true that I was feeling starving. Swallowing my pride, I nodded. I have a sandwich with me. You can have it. Okay. I'm just not even going to question why you just have a sandwich randomly. I mean, you could just point me to a nearest, restaurant or something like that. But, okay. Are you sure? No worries, I'm not hungry anyways. I had to hold myself back as not to lunge onto it. But I kept my cool and I ate it cautiously, as not to embarrass myself. Some of my strength returned to me. In the meanwhile, I decided to ask her about this town. Sorry, I don't really know my way around here that well. Oh, so you're not from here? No, not really. Maybe I could help you look. I'm feeling a bit uneasy about being alone here anyway. Well, I can't blame you. Because just seeing that thing and everybody laughing, I really don't think that's really great. I glanced back in the direction of the laughing crowd. Sure, I would really appreciate that. I'm Scott, by the way. I'm May. Nice to meet you. We set off to look for help. The idea to call someone I knew from May's phone came up. I knew it, but she didn't have it on her, unfortunately. We approached several people asking them for directions, but all of them seemed to ignore us. Oh, why am I yawning? I tried to make small talk with May, every now and then. But her replies were always short and I didn't leave much room for follow-ups. But she perked up when I asked her about her family. I have a sister. At first, I thought that would be all I got out of her, but she continued after the short pause. She's been home more recently. Usually she'd leave early and return late, or not return at all, for several days. Her job is really important, so it makes sense. But I was really happy when she told me that she wouldn't go to work for a while. I assumed she was finally able to request some time off. But she continued to work even at home. May hung her head. It seemed like I had touched on a sensitive topic. I thought of ways to console her or I thought of ways to console her or cheer her up, but I couldn't come up with anything to say. Since I didn't have any siblings, it was hard to relate, but it seems like she really loved her sister. I could actually relate more to May's sister. Just as her, am I moving too close to the microphone? Just as her, I too have barely been home due to my work. And just like that, I'd likely be working even if I was home. But as opposite to May's sister, I didn't have anyone who was excited, who was expecting me back home. I decided against poking any further and instead shifting my focus back on asking people for directions, without much luck. Oddly enough, it was as if they were all going to the same direction, the town center. Something bad. I get a bad gut feeling about this. Do you think they're going to see the performer? Silence. Maybe she just hadn't heard me. I turned around to ask her again, but she was nowhere to be seen. Just as I finished through looking, I felt a presence behind me. I slowly turned around. It's the performer. Oh. Hi. I was not expecting you. What the hell? What do you think? Do I look funny? What? No, get away from me. I took a few steps back, almost afraid the man would lunge at me. But he didn't, he just stood there. I see. Maybe I don't do it quite right. And with that, he walked off, disappointed. He took a book out of his pocket and started flipping through it. For some weird reason, he seemed familiar. That was that one dude with the ginormous rat creature thing. This town's giving me the creeps. I need to get out of here as fast as I could. But as I turned around, I saw them. Most of the people walked by had distorted their faces in one way or another. It was as if a virus had spread while we were looking for help. This was madness. I needed to get out of here. But where to? And where was May? I was getting kind of worried. I looked around and I thought about what to do. Stay on the main street. It should be easier to find May, or the police go through the back streets and avoid attracting any unwanted attention. Okay, so I have an itch. If we stick onto the main street, I get a gut feeling that we might slip into a little bit of trouble. Because usually, not a lot of times, a lot of police stations are not usually on the main drag or anything like that. Usually police stations are like deep into downtown. I mean, usually downtown is usually on the main road either way, but sometimes they're not usually on the main road. It's usually like you have to drive down to the main road, then you have to either take a right or a left, or keep going down, and you have to... It's usually not there. And judging from where I am at, I'm guessing I am in Italy? Maybe? Judging from the street, I will probably go through the back alley. Staying on the main street was too dangerous. The few of them I came in contact with, the better. But the moment I stepped into a dark alleyway, a bad feeling wrapped up inside me. I was really that much safer here than out on the streets? I turn around and look back at the people walking by. Some shot glances at me. Perhaps because I was one of the few people around whose faces looked normal. This made me nervous. I turn back towards the I turned back towards the alleyway. Whatever was awaiting me here couldn't be worse than being surrounded by all those madmen out there. My heartbeat accelerated every time I rounded a corner. I soon noticed that the backstreet layout was quite elaborate. There were no dead ends, and it seems to stretch on forever. I should have glimpsed on an exit leading to the main street long ago. I was just walking in circles. Right as I was about to turn a corner. Hi. I get a gut feeling you're going to ask for money. I froze into place. The person on the left spoke. It was the voice of a boy. Oh, you're normal. His words caught me off guard. What did he mean by normal? And what was up with those masks? Yeah? I tried to sound confident, but my voice shook slightly. The other child spoke. Her voice sounded like a girl's voice. I'm Amy, and this is my brother, Lenny. She gestured in the smaller kid next to her. We're hiding from the other people, those with weird faces. You were hiding from them too, right? My body slowly relaxed and it seemed like they were really just normal kids. Those masks were still freaking me out though. I mean, those masks, are pretty cool. I think samurais used to wear them a long time ago. Don't quote me on that. Don't quote me on that. Maybe, I don't know. Yeah, I am. Do you know where I can escape from here or maybe find some help? No, unfortunately not. I thought I knew a good way though. These back streets, but I think we're lost. No, because of me. Though she wanted to. Amy punches his arm. Ow, hey! If we had turned right, as I said, we wouldn't be lost anymore. That was a dead end, you dimwit. You just didn't see it because your mask is too big. Well, plus also, you got those little holes, so your peripheral vision is like, you're just seeing very little. Then he rubbed his shoulder and started shrugging. Why are you wearing those masks in the first place? Some people with those weird faces have been, well, they've been using people with normal faces as material. Then he flinched as Amy muttered those words. It seemed like they had seen some terrible things. Hiding in those alleyways have been a good idea. Alright, we should probably move on. There has to be a way out of here. I'll stick with you. That way it'll be safer. I couldn't see their faces, but their body language, I could tell that they were relieved. I too was happy that there were other normal people out here. Okay, I get a gut feeling that they're going to lead me to a trap. Because if they're hiding too in the alley, okay, yeah, if they're hiding in the alleyway too, I don't know why my brain just, I get a gut feeling that they're going to trick me into some part where the unnormal people are going to trap me and they're going to use me as, payment to stay alive. And those unnormal people are going to use me as material. What material? I don't know. Use my skin as a couch cover? Use my eyeballs for a new pair of sunglasses? Or, I don't know, use my bones to create bone toothpicks? I don't know. While we were walking, I tried to find more about the siblings and what they knew about the situation. My goodness. My parents have come back since yesterday night. We didn't think much and assumed that they would be back later. But when we woke up, they still weren't there. We wanted to ask some neighbors for help, but they weren't home either. I thought we should wait, but I thought that was a dumb idea. If they hadn't come back yet, then something must have happened to them. And you wanted to be a scientist? Oh yeah, your idea turned out so great. And I never said I wanted to be a scientist. I still don't know. Yeah, or artist, whatever. I tried to steer the conversation to stopping them from fighting a fight from breaking out. Those feel like some pretty construction job choices. They do, don't they? I guess both help people in their own ways. At least what one of our neighbors claim whenever she fights with another neighbor. We have two neighbors who are close to our family and I froze, so did the siblings. Someone was there, just around the corner. I jerked my head around and trying to find a place to hide. For a second I considered they could be someone normal, someone just like us. Someone who was just freaked out by whatever was on the city as we were. But I didn't know. I didn't want to take an unnecessary risk, so I especially didn't want to put these kids in danger. I spotted a bag of garbage can not too far from us, and quickly pushed Amy and Lenny towards it. Made it just in time. Amy held her breath. Lenny was fidgeting slightly. No, he was trembling. As I was afraid that he would make too much noise, but he managed to pull himself through. Silence. Okay. I just felt like a tight song, like a sharp pain on my arm, and I was like sitting there. I was like, did I get bit by the spider? I was cleaning my house today, and I found a very poisonous spider that I'm guessing was nesting in my window in my bathroom. So I tried to kill it, but it just did what spiders did best, just disappeared like it was nothing. So I destroyed the web and covered the hole where the spider was at. Because that's the last thing I want is having baby spiders in my house. Like, I'm a catch and release kind of guy, but I don't want baby spiders in my house. Silence. Was the person just standing there looking down the alleyway where we were in? Or were they already gone and we just hasn't heard them leave? I managed to surprise my curiosity and decided to not peer around the corner. Lenny apparently couldn't. I was about to stop and pull him back, but it was already too late. He had already peeked out of our hiding spot. His body relaxed slightly. I spoke in a hushed tone. Amy, it's Frederick, our neighbor. Amy perked up and it seemed like they knew this person. Amy saw my puzzled expression. She started to explain. Don't worry, Frederick is the neighbor we were talking about. He's a bit of a nerd since he's a researcher, but he's pretty cool otherwise. That last remark stung a bit, seeing that I was a researcher myself, but I decided to ignore it. Here, have this just in case. I'll go talk to him. Lenny shoved his mask into my hands and jumped over from our cover. I was about to grab and stop him, but my hands grabbed empty air. I cannot speak. Amy jumped as well and ran after him, likely realizing how dangerous his idea was. I hesitated, but just for a second. There was no way I couldn't let those two get out of there by themselves. If something went wrong, I had to be there to protect them. I hesitantly put on the mask that Lenny has given me and stepped out of our hiding spot. Lenny had since called out to Frederick and now approaching him. Oh, I froze when I saw him. That was the guy that gave me that I met earlier. And his face was still ravaged as before. How Lenny had recognized him was beyond me. Lenny stopped a few feet from Frederick. Are you alright? Your face... Did they do this? Frederick had a puzzled look on his face at first, but the expression soon softened. Oh, that... How do I look? How do I look? Terrible. Why can't they just leave us normal people alone? Frederick's expression darkened. My feet moved by them, and I was quickly approaching Lenny. Lenny was under the misconception that someone else had done this to Frederick. But I knew that he was one of them. Oh, that explains. I quickly overtook Amy, who had stopped at a safe distance and stood between Frederick and Lenny. Frederick glanced at me. It seems like he didn't recognize me because of the mask. I was about to tell him to leave us when suddenly I gasped for air in my stomach. He kicked me in the stomach. I could hear Amy gasp behind me as my knees gave in. My insides grew hot as I held out my belly, my view fixed on the gray atmosphere below me. Oh no, 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 no. Then I hear Lenny cry out. I jerked my head up and still unable to get up due to the pain. No, no, Frederick! Frederick grabbed Lenny and was pulling him back towards the way Frederick came from. I was hoping to find someone whose face was in impeccable shape, just as yours. Frederick, I swear to God, if you hurt Lenny, I will personally take the stitches off and I would put rubbing alcohol and salt onto your fucking skull. Scars. That did not sound threatening, but it will hurt like a motherfucker. Have you guys ever done that? I accidentally get salt on like an open wound or something like that. It actually hurts sometimes. Alcohol? Ugh. You'll make for some nice material. Hey, let go! Lenny was struggling as all of his might, but Frederick was stronger. He picked up Lenny and... Lenny, go for the eye. Alright? Take your finger, just poke the eye. Alright? Something a lot of people don't know is that the eyeball is a very important organ. So if somebody's like holding it down and your arms are still free, go for the eye. Just aim for the eyes. Do anything. Oh. He threw him against the wall. Lenny's head collided with the hard surface and body went limp. Before I was able to give myself up, Amy had apparently freed herself from her frozen state. She ran past me towards Frederick. Stop, let him go! She must have known that winning against an adult was impossible for her. But her judgment was clouded by her desire to save her brother. All because I had been too careless and let Frederick hit him. But before Amy could throw herself into Frederick turned around and hit her with a backhand. Oh, Frederick. Not only you just assaulted 2 children, you fucking creep. She shrugged it to the side, her mask flying off her face. Her expression was twisted in pain. Frederick froze and saw what was under the mask and noted a normal face. Oh, wow. 2 potential donors. The sick grin formed on his dismembered face. My feet finally stopped wobbling and I managed to stand up. I had to help Amy, otherwise Frederick would take her too. I charged forward as Frederick started to approach her. I was about to tackle him when, once again, a hot... What are you doing? Where is my adrenaline? Shouldn't my adrenaline rush just be fucking skyrocketing? Shouldn't my fight or flight, practically my fight, should be just going AWOL? Once again, A hot feeling spread through my stomach. The difference was that he hadn't kicked me this time. I stumbled backward and looked up. Blood. My feet gave in once again. Frederick was holding a knife. He stabbed me. Now this is where the adrenaline rush starts to kick in and your fight or flight should be able to go. Right. Where was I? He fixed his eye on Amy, who was staring back at him, frozen in fear. Carrying two might be too difficult, but I don't want to leave you here like this either. I got it. He started rumbling through his pocket shortly after he pulled out something small. I glanced at Amy. She had tears in her eyes. My brain was screaming that I had to help her, but my body wouldn't move. I really don't like if knowing very okay, when I was back in college doing figure drawing, I stumbled upon a video. I can't remember the name, but it was basically talking about adrenaline, and that right there, being wounded, should have at least activated a fight or flight or something. If I'm guessing, don't quote me on that. Having a funny face is good and all, but I wanted to approach this from a scientific perspective. There had to be a way to capitalize on this new trend. Maybe I could finally win a prize or two. Constantly, I found some old mushrooms not too long ago. After some experiments, I discovered that they had a potential to influence someone's facial arrangement. Oh no. So I went ahead and made this. He held up something that looked like a small pill. Amy started to crawl backwards. Amy, kick the face. If anything, if he tries to, like I said, go for the eyeballs. His eyeballs are open. So just put your finger and just, all right? Crawl back, but her back was soon to hit the wall. Immediately, I haven't had a chance to try it out yet. That's where you come in. No. He was now standing right in front of Amy and bent down. You should thank me. Many people will attend face comedy entertainment, as I'll call it. Maybe I'll be able to sell as many books as the most hilarious one. Jerking forward and grabbing Amy's face, trying to force a pill into her mouth. I tried to crawl towards them, but almost all my strength had left me. Amy was trying her best to keep Frederick off, but he was too strong. Her muffled scream were... And then she gulped. Frederick stepped back, satisfied. Alright, let's see. It should start any second now. I closed my eyes. I could tell that Amy was failing in pain. She tried to scream, but all that came out was a deep gurgle. Oh no. After a few more painful seconds, it stopped. All went quiet. Oh no. Well, that face looks alright. But it seems like I have to tweak something more before distortion, its distribution is ready. I heard footsteps. Frederick had picked up Lenny and backed up and was now leaving the alleyway. My eyes were still firmly closed. I didn't want to look. I didn't want to see what happened to Amy. But I had to know if she was already dead or if she could still be saved. I slowly opened my eyes. Oh my god. Oh, fuck no. Frederick, you are... Frederick, we're going to have a nice talk. You son of a bitch. Why did this have to happen to them? Why haven't I been able to help them? Amy? She didn't respond. I looked down the alleyway. There was no trace of Lenny or Frederick. They were gone. And soon I would die too. I steadily losing blood, and there was no way anyone would find me and help me. I closed my eyes. As my cautious faded, I felt a small stinging in my back as if something had stabbed me. It was barely noticeable, and then everything went dark. I died, didn't I? Yep. Did I die? I did. I died, didn't I? Okay. Was that the end? Was that no. No, really? No. I you just finished Amy and Lenny's route in the second door. There's more, right? There's got to be more. Well, that is going to be the end of this part of Mycorrhizae. If you guys like this video, hit that like button and also subscribe for more Mycorrhizae in the future. I am going to try to see if there is like an alternative ending to the second episode. Right now I'm looking at, and apparently the joke's over. You finish Amy and Lenny's route in the second door, but apparently we can finish their route in the first door. But I'm not seeing anything else. Oh, so I'm guessing there is. But like I said, if you guys like this video, hit that like button. Also subscribe for more videos like this and others in the future. Anyway, hope you have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.